Hello, everyone. I decided to take my talk today outside and get some fresh air because honestly, when I woke up, I was just doom scrolling for probably a solid hour. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to take turns between showing you this beautiful scenery around me and then letting you know what's on my mind, which honestly isn't a lot, but I am one of those things. I'm sorry, I am one of those people who tend to things in circles and over into the ground. And this might actually end up being very therapeutic for me to be able to, get it out. So I noticed, even though the parking lot wasn't full, there's a lot of people here today. And I love that for us. There's a lot more things we could be doing besides staying on the internet all day or buying stuff or, whatever it is we do when we're stuck inside. So the things that caught my attention today, because I guess I wasn't really doom scrolling without a purpose. I am very mindful about the articles and things I click on, and I am a horribly adamant comment reader. So if I click on a topic of conversation, I am reading at least 400 comments before I feel satisfied enough to move on. And the first thing that caught my attention today was, I guess, what the sewing industry considers the big four of pattern makers apparently got liquidated and bought out or proclaimed bankruptcy or something. And that's honestly kind of scary. And it sucks because for anyone that knows me, I am an insanely artistic and creative person. And I feel like I don't have nearly as much time in my life to do everything I want to do. And sewing is on my list, but I haven't poured in the amount of time yet. It's kind of like the way I move is in patterns. And it took me a while to figure that out because for a long time, I felt like I was just kind of scattered and disorganized and I can't finish anything. But then whenever I'd give up and be like, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like one time I bought a whole bunch of studio equipment to make music. And 6 months passed. I'm just like, oh, I guess I'm never going to get to it. I'm never going to learn this program. And I gave it away. And then the next month, I had that itch and I was like, damn it, I wish I didn't give it away. Thankfully, one of those times I gave it to another music friend of mine. He's just like, no, Ashley, I know you. You don't know it yet, but you're going to come back. You always do. And he held on to it for me that time. I wanted to show you this part because it's like a really cool zigzaggy pattern. But yeah, about the sewing industry. So yeah, I started practicing sewing, I want to say about 4 years. I even got a private mentor. She's amazing. I love her. And she just upgraded to her own studio recently, like outside of her home studio. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm definitely going to sign up for classes with her again just to reinforce what I've learned. And the fact that I'm getting there, I'm drawing my designs, I'm feeling a little more comfortable. I can finally read like basic patterns and stuff on my own, and the whole industry just is basically gone. Like Joann's first, Michael's claimed to have bought them out, and they didn't. I mean, like they did probably, but when I walked into the store associates have no idea what's going on or when it's happening. And they said that other shoppers like me are like, hey, where's all the stuff, you know? And I'm slowly building up my inventory so I can have the space and the time to do all this stuff. Because like I said, super creative person. I'm always drawing, painting, singing, doing something. And sewing is definitely on my list because I have this really grand vision that, I don't know, I'm going to be a director or something one day. But I mean, recently I did go on Etsy and I found an independent pattern maker, and I tried my hand at piecing it together. It was a simple kind of like top where you just tie the back of it. So it was pretty easy to follow the lines. Print it out on your own paper and like make it like a puzzle. Was kind of rough, I'm not gonna lie, especially because the way I learned with pattern paper, it's like a lot thinner. I don't really know what it's made of or why it's like that, but I never cut out the pattern. I just kind of folded it and ironed it to preserve all the sizes. So I was doing the folding method with paper and it was like really thick and hard to stay. I took a little break there because I ran into a photographer and just people walking by, and like I said, I'm sharing the trail today, so I want to be mindful of everyone here. But yeah, so as I'm reading the comments on this news of the big four, like McCall's and Vogue and the other brands, I can't really remember off the top of my head, going under, one of the comments was like, it was kind of conspiracy theory-ish, like the government doesn't want you to make your own clothes anymore. First Joann's, now this, they want you to give into consumerism and fast fashion and this and that. And I was like, oh my God, oh no, I'm too late. I'm so glad that I learned the basics of this, at least, because, I mean, they're not wrong. Fast fashion is kind of terrible. I love that we can get so many cute clothes, like at the drop of a hat, but at the same time, so many of it is made in horrible conditions and not out of good fabrics. Like, weren't things made out of like whole fabrics before? Like cotton and linen and wool and I don't know, cashmere and things that are generally pretty expensive to like acquire now. And now that Joann's is gone, I was like so scared. Like, where am I gonna find fabrics and stuff now? I mean, other comments gave other suggestions, like maybe thrifting. And honestly, even thrifting it's getting up there now. I remember when I was younger, my mom would take us to Goodwill. And honestly, when you're younger, you don't really appreciate it as much because you want to wear the same brands and fun stuff that other people are wearing. And, you know, you're getting all of the knockoffs at Ross and Goodwill and whatever it was. But, you know, you can get a shirt for $2 back in the day. Now shirts are like $7, $8. Dresses are $20. I went there just because I'm curious. I like to see what wedding dresses and stuff end up there just because it's like a luxury garment. And it was like $300. I was like, sir, ma'am, madam, wow. So that's that. So that sent me spiraling a little bit. But, you know, honestly, I'll get there when I get there. And I'm working on it. The other things that sent me spiraling was I have been doing my due diligence. I have been doing my due diligence. And I've been tracking my expenses still, just as I promised. Oh my gosh, I think it's only been about 2 weeks total so far. And I don't like having to write anything in my journal. I don't like to write my expenses in. I don't know. It feels kind of like I failed every time I spend money. And it's just a hunch, but I feel like it's not supposed to feel that way. Like, the whole point of me starting that was kind of like a form of accountability for myself and to understand where my dollar goes. And I did have certain events already planned in there before I started my accounting journey, so to speak, which was the food festival. I did post a video of that and it was so much fun. And to be honest, it was a treat. And then I went back again the next day and took my son because I felt so guilty about going to an Asian food festival, which is like his dream. Like, he wants to go to Japan one day, and honestly, I'm gonna take him. But like, even with the pre-budgeted expenses, going back and writing them all down, I don't like it. It's almost like I'm afraid to spend money now. And I feel like it's not supposed to be that way, because to me, life is supposed to be enjoyed. And I don't want to stress myself out over every dime and dollar. Granted, I do have goals and I have plans in place to achieve them, but to be completely strict about it, I feel isn't healthy, because then instead of looking forward to all of my pre-budgeted expenses or whatever it is, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to spend because I'm going to feel like I'm wasting it. And then on another note, it was a food festival, and I'm already very diet conscious because of my past, my history. I'm just so scared of going beyond a certain weight. So not only am I counting dollars in that instance, I was also counting calories. So it was like my boyfriend had to keep reminding me that, hey, we're having fun this week. We earned this. We saved up for it. We're very frugal. Like, enjoy yourself. And I did. But then I'm not going to lie. I felt the shame when I had to put in all the dollars and when I looked at the scale. So it's also part of the reason why I'm walking. I can't complain without putting in some of the work, to change my situation. So that was that. And then I'm going to continue because I've made that commitment not only to myself, but to you all, whoever is on this journey with me. Thank you so much. This past week, I got 2 new subscribers. I have not looked at the analytics as of yet to figure out from which video, because wow, it's so much more grassy over here. Like, it's overgrown now. I feel like I'm gonna get eaten up by mosquitoes, so maybe I won't go down here today, but I will show it to you when it gets dry again. But yeah, I post content like this, my little vlogs, what's on my mind, and I'm also posting videos about the other ventures I go into. Like last time, besides the food festival, it was like a painted sculpture. I have a whole bunch of fun stuff I have coming up because I have this really big thing I want to do, but it requires for me to put in the work first and set the structure and lay the foundation and be the trailblazer, But like, it's only if I put in the work so that I can help raise others up after me. So I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to keep vlogging everything, whether it is pre-thought out plans or impulse purchases. I can't lie. Sometimes I don't feel like it, It's exhausting. It does something to my mental, counting every single dollar and calorie and watching where my energy goes. But also, I know I'm also kind of like maybe an intuitive person where I follow a feeling or thought or like an instinct or something like that. And while that works for certain situations, it doesn't always translate to the material world. So yeah, I'm a little excited. I should have done this a long time ago. Oh, one more fun thing. I have my last dance class for the session coming up. I had told my teacher that I was gonna quit because I felt like I wasn't receiving like the discipline and structure I needed there. So I told her with as much grace, I think this might be my last session for a while, and I'm seeking education elsewhere. When I told her that, this woman pushed me. Listen, my form, she was like, open, adjust your posture, look up. And I was just like, yes, energy. This is exactly what I wanted. Where was this? And I'm just like, damn it, I told you I was going to quit. So there's that. We're going to see how today goes. I absolutely 100% would not mind changing my mind if it looks like it's something that I can continue on and gain more value from. Because like, we're all counting our dollars out here. And I'm putting these things, like these are all investments into me. It's enrichment, personal enrichment exercises, you know? So I'm going to make sure that dollar works. And I say that to you guys. For me, whoever else stumbles across this video, that if you're going to spend the money, make it count, okay? I don't usually spend on things. Granted, there are things that I want, just like anyone else. Some people want more than others. My idea of being rich isn't to be the number one trillionaire, top 1% person in the world. For me, that looks like being able to work for myself, have my own time freedom, financial independence, and like a really nice house. If I can stop going other places for what I can do myself and have the time and freedom to do all of those things, I want to be able to do it. Like, I literally say pay for a gym membership, for example, when I have the equipment, but I don't have the space to do it. I don't have the time to do it regularly. But also, I put some of my exercise in gym. So just recognize that when you're taking from something and putting it somewhere else, like, things are always going to be in balance somewhere. You just got to figure out where your dollar is going and make it count. Where's your time going and make it count? So yeah, I'm not at the gym anymore. I did cancel that membership for now. And I'm going to try to figure out something else that works for me, because I was paying for it and not using it. And that would have been a complete waste. So, but I'm taking walks, and walks are free. Nature is free. The air we breathe right now is free. So there's that until I figure out that and my dance situation, because I really want to continue with that, but only if I'm getting the challenge and the instruction that I really, really want and need to grow. And it's okay to do that. So yeah. So that's what's up with me this week, or right now. I hope everyone is having a really safe and dry week. There's been a lot of craziness in the news. Our storms have been kind of crazy down here in Florida. I think we've been getting a lot of hail and a lot of lightning, a lot of crazy thunder. I hope everyone's safe. Everyone's working towards their goals and their dreams, however that may look, whether it's counting pennies and calories like I'm doing and rebudgeting, or just talking about it, because honestly, talking about it is keeping me on track. It is, because it's kind of like having an accountability partner and having like someone that has your back, you know? So I appreciate the support. See you next time.